And hello and welcome to Uptown Tonight. It is in September already, September 7th of 2022. The weather is great. It's a little bit humid out there, but it's been sunny for the past week. So any of the future cast people are watching this. Yeah, it was really nice out here for a week. So this is the Uptown and wow, I am busting down already. Uptown Tonight Podcast. And this is the FM Area's weekly entertainment podcast where we believe a rising tide raises all ships. So if you're out there, you can like, subscribe, comment, do all that, share it to your friends, everything else. If you're out there live right now, you can join us in the chats, and we'll definitely try to get you in on all that fun stuff. But today we have the one, the only, Dan Brekke, the only guy that's making me think that, no shaves November has to be a thing. Because I tried it last year a little bit, but he comes back in with that damn beard of his, and, I can't help myself. No shave November is going to happen this year. So, but before we get to Dan here, I got to talk about myself a little bit, because that's what we have to do around here. So, last weekend, that's why I put this stuff up too. We also have Uptown merch. Uptown merch, finally, you can come and get your Uptown t-shirt. You got to find us on stage somewhere. I think the next time we are playing in Fargo, though, is going to be about a month, or else we're up in Grand Forks in a few weeks here. We'll be up there a few times. And then there again, I keep doing that. That's what I kept doing last week, too. Hello. Yep. So let's see if I can get this to happen. Stay there. Will it stay there? Let's find out. Oh, there we go. Then there's ZB's. Dan was having a great time with him. This is him about a little over a year ago. The couch doesn't look the same. ZB doesn't look the same. And he's shedding like a mofo right now. Yeah. Oh, my God. He finally got to that age where he's a shedder. So that's no good. And then there was us last week. Last Friday, we played a nice wedding up at, I think it's the Lone Oak Event Center. It might be Lone some kind of tree event center up in Ari, A-Y-R-E. Really, really nice place. And great reverb in that room, everything else. And it was a great, great time. So that's what we were doing last weekend. And that's basically all I got to report for myself. So, let's get to Dan. I think Dan's a little more interesting to me.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, I believe so. How have you been, man?
I've been busy.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, you came up on stage with us over at Murphy's Pub. I showed some pictures that we had of you on there, and man, that was a great, great time. I think it was only like 20 minutes, but wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was a ton of fun. But you've been busy, busy, busy. I'm seeing you got stuff that's going on all over the place, all over the week. What's been going on for you since you've been last on?
Well, I ended up starting my own kind of project here, so I've been going around doing a bunch of my own shows, and I've been playing with a couple other bands, filling in and doing stuff like that, and basically just trying to fill up my schedule as much as I can. So it's been working.
So you've been working on your own show there, and then I heard something about that you want to add horns and all this type of stuff in there, or am I hearing incorrectly?
No, I mean eventually that's kind of the goal. I'd love to have a great big band, but I mean you also have to finance that too. So
that's the musicians don't get paid.
Yeah, if I could have like an 8 to 10 piece band, that'd be sweet.
So if you're looking at like your ultimate band that you could possibly put together, what would it be?
I like, drums, bass, guitar, keys, maybe three-piece horn section, something like that. Maybe, a couple guys that can do some auxiliary stuff, maybe some percussion or, a steel guitar player, or just a real, go back to the old school days where they would just have 12 people on stage making
backup
all
singers
of the music.
And all that fun stuff?
Sure. Do an Elvis style band.
You're easy to work with.
Well, as long as you're easy to work with, you work with me.
Well, what style of music would you be playing then?
I mean, I do a lot of 70s stuff. I like country, older country stuff, but I also love the Joe Cocker stuff and all of that, kind of, Aretha and basically just being able to have the flexibility to kind of do a bunch of different stuff. Essentially, I'm a big fan of the Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats and those guys, bands like that I think are just awesome.
But that's kind of getting aged now too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess with that Son of a Bitch song, that's like almost 10 years old now. Maybe not that old, but yeah.
You never know when you look back. when you start getting older like this. I don't know how old you are. I'm guessing you're still in your 20s, but I'm
yeah,
gonna leave you in there.
Just about to turn 27.
Dang, nice.
Yep.
That's when I started a family.
Okay.
Which now they're all gone. Oh my gosh, this empty nesting thing is so, it's crazy. It's just weird. It's like there's time. There's time to do things.
Right. All your projects actually get done.
Well, they're starting to get done. They're starting to go away. You can notice it in the house.
Yeah.
But you have like any original stuff that you're thinking about doing, or are you just doing planning out different types of shows, or like, what's going on here?
Well, yeah. So I mean, I went down to Nashville this past January, February, right around then, and did 3 originals with a guy named Jay Took, who has kind of really taken over the producing role for me, which is great. He's great. He does a fantastic job. He also played drums on them.
Awesome.
He used to be the drummer for the Steelwoods and Clay Walker and a few different folks. He's solid drummer, a really good producer, and he ended up getting Randy Houser's bass player and keys player on it, and then Eddie Dunlap played steel on a couple of them, and Eddie Dunlap has been on just about anything you hear on the radio for steel wise. So that was fun, and then I got to play on them too. So we.
From the start of the show, I hope you get to play on it.
Well, yeah, it was fun. Get to have my own little spin on it. Then we set it off to go get mastered, and the guy that mastered it, I guess he mastered one of Stapleton's last ones and a couple different things, bigger names like that. So they sound great. I'm really happy with them. I'm going to try to get them out here by the end of September, kind of October, right around the fall here.
Okay, so these haven't been released yet?
Not yet. I'm just gonna go single by single, just do 3 singles, 1 a month.
That seems to be the new thing that's going on. It didn't even dawn on me until doing the podcast and people coming in talking about doing the singles thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is like dumping the albums, and no one listens to albums anymore.
It's kind of old school, like way back in the day. You'd get like a 45 with the main single on it. You might have a B-side on it or something like that. But like a lot of single stuff.
Touche.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
That does make sense. It's really, really interesting how that's like the thing now.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the idea of the album. The album is always, to me, I've always wished that people would just go through, because that's how I always digested, my favorite bands. New album came out, start on track 1 and go to the end. Listen
I think that's a bygone era now, though.
It's just,
unfortunately.
I mean, unless you're, a super hardcore fan, that doesn't seem to really be the way that people are doing it anymore. So, business-wise, singles make more sense. But I think eventually, if you had a big enough following, you could start just doing full albums, and it wouldn't really matter. Your fans will listen. Yeah,
exactly. So where have you been? Where have you actually been playing for the past few months here?
I've been more local around Fargo. Done some in, closer to the cities, a little more out to North Dakota. I did a Sturgis run. That was pretty fun. But yeah, just been kind of filling up, trying to, I mean, I don't want to say restart, but I guess restart kind of makes sense, but kind of, get a good base going back in town again, and then just start expanding out of there again, and keep doing some back and forth stuff from Nashville, and
I love it. Yeah, we went out and saw you. I can't remember. You were at the M&J.
Oh,
that was like the most full I've ever seen the M&J ever. I was so happy about that.
That was a fun night.
Yeah, you guys are just jamming up there. Oh my god,
just a fun three-piece.
Is that normally how you do things, or is like
as far as like personnel, or?
Well, not personnel, but just like show-wise, just get up there, you just throw a tune out, and you guys just rip the living hell out of it, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I don't know. I've been at this a long time, and I think the show that I put on live has always been kind of evolving. As far as like when you're younger, you're kind of doing more of like, well, this is what the guys that I know or the guys that I like, this is how they do their, this is their moves, and this is how they put on their show. And then you start getting more into like, your own stuff. And I think playing so many hours in Nashville kind of gave me enough time to like put my show or how I like to run shows together. You know, I think I got to put all that together where it's like, you know, I'd rather just talk to you like, you know, be kind of my typical awkward, sarcastic self on the mic and just let the music speak for itself. You know, just kind of go at a song and rip it down and go on to the next one. And if I have something to say, and if I'm more excited on a night, you know, I might have more to say. Or if I'm just feeling like sitting there and playing, I might be a little quieter on the mic. Or you know, who really knows? But for me, it's all about just playing. You know, it's all about keeping people on the dance floor and yeah, if they're dancing, great, and if they're liking what they're hearing, great. If they want to hear something else, then it's kind of fun. You can kind of shift directions and go towards, you know, something else that'll make them happy or get them dancing, or, you know, do a cheers with them, get them a little more drunk so they think we sound a little better, and yeah.
It's always about this beer sales thing. We had Matt Rocker on here, and that was like his point is that no matter what you have, or what I'm paraphrasing here, so Matt, if you're watching this, I'm totally destroying what your quote is, but it's basically like, just remember, no matter how high you are or how much your band's being loved, it's all about making beer sales. That's
well, I mean, essentially, you know, the venue is allowing you to play. I mean, sure, you're making money, but the venue is, you know, if they're losing their ass on something, they're not going to have you back in, you know. So if you're if you're pushing the bar and they're selling lots of drinks, I mean, that's almost a guarantee that you'll get hired back, you know. Because I mean, it's not like, you know, sometimes you can say that it's all about the money and it's not being like a corporate greedy thing. Sometimes it's just literally about like they need to make money to stay open. You know, if it's a Friday or Saturday night, they have to have a big night.
Yeah,
you know,
the whole thing is you're the distraction to keep them in the bar,
right?
In order to make those purchases. I know Sean Bowe was on here and they did this whole metal thing, and that was his idea. It's like basically you can sell any kind of music out there as long as you can get the following, as long as you have the show that people just want to watch.
Yeah.
And,
right.
Yeah, you guys put on a great show.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. Fun to do a little 3-piece thing too.
So you have this Outlaws of Country thing. I saw that.
Yeah.
So is this like one of your little side projects, or is that just what you do and you just don't call it that all the time?
Well, I mean, I do a lot of, I guess, what you would call outlaw country. That name just kind of came about, and it's that name just kind of stuck with it. So
with your logo picture, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know, and my folks, or I guess my family has a theater out in Park Rapids, and they try to do different shows throughout the year. They have a main show that they do, and then, you know, they had a Neil Diamond show come in. They had a couple different, you know, types of shows, and I guess they wanted to have me give it a shot doing kind of more of a country show. And I got Eric Longnecker and Matt Tindrum, and I flew a guy up, Rob Music from Nashville that I know really well. One of my good buddies flew him up, and yeah, we just did a bunch. I mean, it's the demographic, you know, for that theater. I mean, it's in the middle of the woods. Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot more of, you know, senior citizen type buses coming in, and they love it, man. So it's fun to do some of those older songs. Like, you can't always get away with doing, you know, 4 Merle Haggard songs in one set, you know, because they, like we were saying, you're not going to keep people in there. You're not going to keep the beer sales going if you're playing Silver Wings. So, but I love it. So we got to do that out there. So that's kind of what that show was. It was just tailored more towards you know, a sit down older audience.
Oh, I'm assuming that it went really well.
It went pretty well. Yeah. We sold a lot of tickets for it, and everyone seemed to enjoy it. And it was different playing in a theater where, like, they came to just see you. You know, they don't do alcohol sales there. So it was literally just popcorn and pop, and then old people sitting there watching you. Cool. You know.
So did you have to have more like dialogue with them, or is there like more of a structure to it?
There was more of a structure to that one, yeah, because I mean, you don't want to be sitting there floundering. So we kind of came up with a decent outline for the show and ran with that.
Cool. You ever gonna do that one again then?
Yeah, I think next summer. We haven't talked dates yet, but we're pretty sure we're gonna do it again next summer too. So
awesome.
4 or 5 times next summer as well.
4 or 5 times.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I like to see.
Yeah. No, it was a good time. I like doing that one.
Cool. So what do you got coming up here then?
Well, let's see. We've got
Some singles coming out.
Got singles coming out. Here, I can pull up my schedule here for September. We've got I'm doing Murphy's this Friday, and then I'm playing at Specs Bar with they call it the Last Minute Band, which is just me and Eric Longnecker and Matt Tingham, and it kind of started during COVID. I think a band must have backed out or something like that, and so they called Eric and they said, "Hey, can you put a band together last minute?" So we, the three of us, just got up there and jammed and called it the Last Minute Band, and they seem to enjoy it. So we've been back there a few times doing that little trio. So back there on Saturday, and yeah, a few more gigs coming up around the area here, and planning on going back to Nashville and doing some more writing with some people, and I'm not sure if I'll get it done this winter, but I'd like to go down there and do another couple, singles, and because it seems like it's about a 6-month turnaround to get them back and ready to put them out. So if every year during the winter I can go down and record and put them out in the fall, I think that would work out pretty good. So
awesome. So take us through your writing process, because I'm assuming
Sure.
that this is some kind of continuous thing going on. You don't just make it up on the airplane going down there or the car ride.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of it does happen in the car, just because you're sitting there thinking about stuff, and if I get a good line in my head, I try to write it down on my phone or something, and I try to, maybe think about where that's going or where that came from or whatever, and then when I get home or wherever my guitar is at, I'll sit down and try to put some sort of melody to it, or at least figure out some chords that I like, and from there you just kind of I tend to write with kind of reckless abandonment, and just in the way where like it won't make sense, then you got to go back and kind of clean it up and go, okay, now we're not even following the same narrative, but sometimes it's cool that way. But I try to write the whole song as fast as I can, and then come back to it and fix, because if you do it really quick, then you get that idea you're going for right away. You can always come back and tweak the little things, but if you get stuck on one little turn of phrase or whatever, if you write something you're like, I can do it better, that's fine. Just write down what you have for now, finish the song, come back, and then fix what needs to be fixed. Just make sure your ideas are have a through line.
Yeah, exactly. Because I say the same thing as when you're actually like doing writing, and you come up with some kind of theme or whatever else.
Right.
Is that you sneeze on the page, and then you go back in and you tweak it, fix it.
Right.
What you want to do.
The feeling, or the idea or the story that you want to say. So you just go, just throw it on the paper, and then come back and start at the top and fix it, and just try to make sure it still stays in that original vein that you had it in.
That's beautiful. So you start with lyrics first? That's what you're saying?
A lot of the time, yeah. There's only been a couple songs that I wrote the guitar line first, but I would say like 90% of the time I come up with some sort of phrase first usually.
Nice. So you figure out your hook and then you just work around that?
Yeah, I like starting from a hook, because then you're not writing to a hook. You start with it and then you write around it.
Which makes perfect sense.
Then you can always come back to it.
What's the inspiration? It could be anything?
Just about anything. Yeah, I like to. I mean, my favorite songwriters, John Prine and Willie Nelson and Stapleton and Hayes Carl, Townes Van Zandt, a lot of these guys that just, they can take a really, it might seem kind of boring, or it's not this grandiose idea, like, and I'm not talking shit about anything else, but like with a lot of modern pop or rap songs, it's about this extravagant idea of who I am, or what I want to do, or how awesome this moment or this, everything is to 10, and that's I'm not knocking it. That's just, for me, I'm somewhat of a, I guess I'm a pessimist or a realist to a degree, where it's like I kind of go, All right, yeah. I mean that's fun to go. Oh, we're never getting older, and this is the best time that we're ever gonna have in our lives. And I kind of go, yeah, that's great, but you're totally full of shit too. So
I still feel like I'm 27.
Yeah, well, So I like the guys that'll take like a moment in just average everyday life and explain it in such a way that, I mean, everybody knows it. Everybody knows what you're talking. Everyone can relate to it. Because in my favorite kind of writing is stuff that people can all, I find some sort of identity in. John Prine is probably one of the best examples of that, of just writing so simplistically, but also so, eloquently, and he's so specific on such mundane topics that you wouldn't think that you could make something out of it, but it's, at the end of the day, it's like, oh, that's actually a pretty profound statement about, I don't know, well, like Angel from Montgomery. It's a great song about, he wrote it about basically a housewife, and it's nothing too sad, but it's, it's just stuff like, the last verses talks about flies in the kitchen, you can hear them buzzing, and I haven't done anything since I woke up today, and how can someone go to work in the morning and come home in the evening and have nothing to say? And it's just like, yeah, that's, it's, I mean, that's a pretty sad verse that I picked, but you know what I mean, where it's this kind of, realism, realism versus this, like this grand idea of who you picture yourself as, or who people picture themselves as. It's more of just like, I can relate to this because I did this yesterday. If that kind of makes sense. Yeah, I'm not putting a nice bow on that, but yeah.
No, it's lyric analysis. If you watch,
right.
We got a guy named John Huber. He's going to be on actually our Halloween thing. It's in a band called Shotgun Facelift, and his whole thing, like half of our podcast back then was him just doing lyric analysis and explaining like the significance of certain things, and it was fascinating. It just blew my hair backwards. I couldn't keep up with him half the time on that stuff. But this is kind of the same idea. I mean, when you get diving down deep into the lyrics, there is some analysis, some kind of poetry that's going on that needs to happen in order to catch people.
Well, I mean, I feel like people need to be heard. They need to know that other people are experiencing what they're experiencing. So it's not this like boring thing to just talk about what everybody else is, what we're all experiencing at the same time. We don't have to make it, music should be an escape, but also it should be something that people can relate to. It should also be that when you're laying in bed, and you got that song lyric in your head, and that's the only thing you got to hold on to, because that's just the thing that you're relating to at that moment. That's, in my mind, that's really, really good songwriting. Is something like a safety blanket, or even just like, not even about sad stuff, just like, I went for a walk today, and isn't that nice? Then I walked around and I saw all the trees and all the stuff, just appreciating the little things in life too.
That song's about me.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, no, that's cool. That's cool. And then you go back and then you figure out like the melodic lines and all that other stuff, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yep. I'll go through from there. And
then does your producer then add in all the extra stuff for the rhythm side and everything else, or do you have like ideas what's going to be happening there?
Well, a lot of them I've kind of stopped. I've stopped going at it so specifically, but I'll do like little work tapes, or I'll do. I used to do like, I would be bored and I would do full, bass, drum, full guitar tracks, and just to do it, because I had this idea in my head and I wanted to flush it out and make it sound just like that. And then you kind of realize like, well, the magic of the studio is all of it coming, like you hire the guys and then you put it together, and it might take on this different kind of, this different feeling that you didn't have, because when you're the only person playing all the instruments, is going to have a very, specific, feel to it. Where when you get all these other guys in that are monster players, then, all of a sudden it takes its own, kind of maybe, it might go in a different direction. It might be something that's way better than you thought. Or you can go, let's do more towards something like this. But to answer your question, I mean, mostly now what I've been doing is just acoustic work tape. I'll just have a nice, mic, and I'll just record myself doing acoustic and vocals, and I'll give that to him.
Sure. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, so it seems like to be the thing, because one of my best friends, Dan Solovich, you can see him on the podcast as well. You go back far enough. But he does a lot of producing down in the cities area, and he does a lot of things, I think, out of St. Louis and stuff like that. It's a lot of hip-hop-y type things.
Sure.
So you can see where he gets ideas, and then sometimes he's got to twist them, almost 90 degrees in order to make them work.
Right.
At least work in his mind. And then, like, Quaishin was in here, he was talking about just how he started writing a song one time, and I can't remember the name of the song. Sorry, Quaishin. But he came back, and the guy who was producing it had all this like Latin stuff and whatever put in the background. And it was just, you see that it was just almost perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And he just left to get lunch, and then that's
Right.
how quick it turned around on him. And it was just like some lines that he just put down. So no,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Just working with producers and stuff. That must
Well,
be like
he's
this new
he's
good thing.
He's a pretty like-minded guy too. Like we like a lot of the same stuff. So the stuff that he throws in there, I go, yeah, I like that. It's just kind of a lot of like no-brainer stuff.
Easy to work with.
Very easy to work with.
Man.
Yep.
Man. No, I just remember when I was recording my first album a billion years ago that our vocalist at the time wanted to put on all these like effects and everything else. And these guys wanted to just keep it as clean as possible.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to put all this garbage on there. He literally was just like, he was about to quit right in the middle of the album just because he wasn't going to do it. So, yeah, he won. We didn't put at least a lot of that stuff on there.
Sure.
No, that's cool. So how many songs you have to come up with before you find like the 3, or how many you usually shoot for?
Well,
or does it even matter?
I mean, he made the mistake of he goes, you know what? Just send me what you got. And so
I made the mistake.
I was like, sure. I sent him about 25 songs, and I'm sure he went, I don't know. I'm not like your top 5, not saying they were all, hits or anything like that, but it was, yeah, I mean, I have luckily I've been writing so long that I do have enough, songs saved up from even, some of them 10 years ago that are pretty decent songs that are, it's like, well, with the right tweaks and maybe if I went back in there and kind of changed a couple, made it, just tightened it up a little bit, they might be really good songs, maybe. But that group of songs keeps growing the more I'm writing. I mean, you write a lot of shit before you get anything good.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But I mean, anybody that's ever asked me about songwriting or something like that, not like there's been a ton, but anybody that asks me about it, I just always tell them you got to write all the time because it's being the like you. I would say that the guys that have written, 100, number 1 hits have probably written 10,000 songs.
The 10,000 hour, yeah.
Yeah, because you got to write a bunch of shit before you get anything good. Got to be a bunch of crumpled up papers on the floor before you find one song. You're like, okay, that one works.
That is good. Do you have like a committee in the home space that kind of goes through your stuff with you, or do you just kind of do this all on your own?
I do it mostly just on my own. I write songs with other folks too, but I do most of it solo.
Do you share it with anybody and then say, do you think this has any legs, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'll send it out to people once in a while if I think it's something good, or I'll just put it in that, basically bin of songs and go, well, all right. Well,
here you go, check them out.
Yeah, you like this one? So, yeah, I mean.
So do you write every day then?
No, I mean, I try to. I should get into a better habit. I mean, in the summer, I don't write. I mean, hardly at all. I need to, but when you're playing all the time and you're on the road and you're trying to make time for everybody else in your life and writing can kind of fall to the wayside, which that should be the one thing that you probably shouldn't let fall to the side. But when it's when you're just so damn busy in the summer, it's kind of tough to keep a bit. But I mean, I should say it this way: I'm not sitting down in the basement as much in the summers with the intent of, okay, I'm going to flush out 3 or 4 songs here, just write. But I do. I mean, I would say, a few times a week, I'm at least writing something down on my notes on my phone or something where I can come back and look at it and then maybe take it from there,
So you have some sort of way that you consistently, at least.
Because I don't want to, if I get a good idea, I don't want to lose it, so I'll still write it down, So I heard Willie say something about that once too, where he was saying, if he knows it's a good idea, if he can remember it without writing it down, like if it keeps coming back to him, he goes, okay, well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, Jay Leno says the same thing about comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's good, it's good. If it's good, you'll register that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Let's get to some of your photos while we're doing this here.
Sure.
Let's see if I can get over there again. Here we go. This is fun.
Oh yeah, this is fun. My girlfriend wanted to do the tortilla challenge.
Tortilla challenge.
Yeah. So the thing you do rock, paper, scissors, and then you fill your water with mouth with water, and then slap each other. If you lose, you get slapped, and you try not to spit it out. And I told her she wanted to do this, and I said, I'm going to hit you really hard with this. That was a pretty decent smack, but she's a sweetheart. She didn't want to hurt me. And, I actually broke the tortilla on her face. I'm not sure why I said this to you. I think people are going to think I'm abusing her. I didn't even watch it. What is this?
I win.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh man, the tortilla challenge.
Yeah, it was
TikTok-y things.
Some TikTok thing. Yeah, I don't know.
It was all in fun. Everybody.
It was all in good fun.
Yes, exactly. No one was hurt in this event. Okay, we got a night at the Fillmore.
Yeah, so I was contacted by a guy at Jade Presents asking if I wanted to do a Allman Brothers tribute, and I said, well, duh. I love the Allman Brothers. So this is on, I can't read it. I'm pretty sure it says November 4th.
Yeah, that's
Friday, November 4th.
Almost the 5th of November.
Yeah, pretty close. And yeah, so I mean, we're gonna do their, one of their more famous albums is that Live at the Fillmore. So we're gonna do that pretty much front to back, and then anything else we'll kind of do afterwards, because I mean they had a few different.
So you're gonna run the entire album from top to bottom?
I think so. We haven't quite flushed all that out yet, but.
That'd be so sweet.
But I think, that was kind of the idea for it, calling it A Night at the Fillmore, because then we could just kind of start with, run their whole show down, and then do the other ones that weren't on there,
Oh, man. Hopefully I got that weekend open.
Yeah. Maybe. So I mean, come on out. It's gonna be a riot.
I still haven't been in the hall yet. I've been by
it's a really nice room.
Nice room.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I love this.
Yeah, so this is I got that from the Iron Horse in Sturgis. They were nice enough to. I think they gave every artist that played there. They gave them a whiskey barrel top.
They call those casks, right?
I don't know.
Not a whiskey aficionado.
I mean, I drank enough whiskey. I should be an aficionado at this point, but I'm not.
The old JD. You have that hanging on your wall then?
Yeah.
Just lie. Yep.
Yeah. No, it is. It's on the wall downstairs now.
That is sweet.
So yeah.
That is sweet. Who's this character?
Yeah. So I got to meet old Tommy Buns. We were my girlfriend bought us tickets to go down to Chattanooga and go see him on a Tuesday, and we'd seen his show. It was great, and he's my all-time favorite comedian. I love him.
Segura.
Yeah, he's my favorite. So we go out and go get a couple drinks after the show, and we're walking back, and she's looking down at her phone trying to order a pizza, and I slap her on the arm, and she goes, "What?" And I go, "That's Segura right there, standing outside of our hotel." And so I don't
just hanging. Is that all he was doing?
Just hanging out, and I went to, I don't get starstruck very often, but I all of a sudden it was like, oh no, I might have had some sports enhancing drugs in my system as well, and I look over at him, and he kind of gives me a little up dog, like he can obviously he knows by the look at me that I was like, oh shit, that's Tom's a girl, and I look at him and I go, hmm? he goes, what? And I go, what? And he goes, what the fuck are you talking about? And I go,
Full Segura style.
Can I get a picture? And he's like, yeah. So I walked over. He was super friendly, super nice, and just took a picture with him right away, and yeah, he was cool. And I obviously just left him alone, but yeah, he was a super nice dude.
Okay, so you didn't get any deep conversations?
No. I mean, like you can. I mean, I thought it was really nice of him to just take a picture with me. I don't want to it's one of you don't want to make him. I don't know. I always feel weird with celebrities where it makes it all about you, and it's like their show's over at that point, and you're like, well, I don't want to make you continue making this my moment.
Exactly. I think your mic keeps cutting in
Oh,
and out.
yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, because I know
Yeah.
McLovin ran into Fluffy downtown after he had his show here,
Oh, sure.
and apparently you can watch the podcast on that one too. But it was just
Who's McLovin?
McLovin, Darren McLovin, Darren Lovin.
No, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, well that's fine.
Sorry.
He's one of the OGs in there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he ran to Fluffy, and basically what happened was just they were eating at the frying pan. And
Sure.
He approached him, and Fluffy just said, "Yeah, we'll talk. Can we just talk later? Right now we just need some time for ourselves."
Mhm.
And just cordial like that. And then he did approach them afterwards and had a little conversation.
Well, I mean that's a good way to do that.
Yeah. So I always just wonders. I've never actually ran anybody. I can give my Marilyn Manson story, but that wasn't really much of actually meeting him. More
Sure.
or less just that's Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
I'll tell that one later.
Looks like an old lady. Yeah. So this was I just happened to run across this picture a little bit ago. I was playing downtown Nashville about 5-6 days a week, and I would be doing 8 to 12 hours a day, a lot, and I believe this is when I was downstairs in Crossroads. I was learning a couple parts for the next show that I was doing, and then I just was tired and probably had a couple adult pops and just took a nap in a chair in the basement there. I just thought I've always thought that was because no one else really knows what that's from, but I thought that's a cool picture.
Oh, that's awesome. 8 to 12 hours a day? Was this constant or?
Yeah, I mean, there's times I did 16.
Holy.
Yeah.
16 hours on just a regular job, much less something that, you have to really exert some energy.
Yeah, but I mean, you get to play music and drink on the job, so it's fine. But
and you're always learning. That's what you're just talking about, learning new parts for the next thing.
Yeah, well, it was just playing so much that it's constant paid practice and constantly, learning how to play with a variety of different kind of players and yeah, it was fun.
No, that's cool. So basically, I don't know, it just blows my mind how you can just walk into and having that much work. It's how do you end up having that much work? Did you know some people before you went down there?
I had met a guy named Greg Klink. Let's see, I was down there just visiting, and I'd met him. I got his number. I'd gotten up and just sat in with them that night, and got his number, and he said, hey, well, when you come back to Nashville, I told him I was moving there, and he says, well, when you come back, come out and check out our show again, you sit in, whatever. So I text him, and he tells me, when I moved there, I text him, he tells me where he's playing at. So I went there and watched him and sat in, and then a couple times after, I'd come on and watched him the first time, I said, hey man, I got a fiddle. If I see you don't have a fiddle player, if you want could I just sit in with you and just, you don't have to pay me the first night. If you like me, I'll come to the next show. But so he ended up hiring me to play with him, and I was in his band for maybe a year, maybe not even quite that, and then started my own band down there, and meanwhile I was just networking and finding as many shows as I could, and when you just play a bunch and express that you'd like to be playing as much as you possibly could, then that the word gets out there. And if you just kind of keep your head down and get through songs pretty well, then you're probably gonna get hired. So I just kept networking and kept playing a bunch, and then pretty soon I was doing a bunch of my own shows, and I had a couple steady regular gigs with a couple other bands, and it kind of turned into basically Tuesdays through Sundays. I was playing pretty much 8 to 12 hours a day.
So what time would that start at? Like 10 in the morning, or? So each set is 4 hours. So a lot of times I would do triples, which would be, they would call it like a split triple. So you would do, 2 together and 1 apart, right? So it would, a lot of times what I would do is I would go down and do an acoustic show in the morning at 10 o'clock. Excuse me. I would go do an acoustic show somewhere, 10 to 2, and then usually I'd have a break. So I would go get, lunch, dinner, essentially. Yeah.
What I would do on really busy days is I would take, on my way down there, I would cook up, I would take with me, it was four fried eggs, a pound of ground beef, bacon, basically any sort of, meat or sustenance, and I would, potatoes or something, and I would just mash it all into a Tupperware, and I would just eat most of that on the way down there, and then if I had a break, I would, eat a little more, and then I would usually get dinner whenever I could. But that was, the idea was having that much food because you might not get to eat. So then we would, I would usually play from 6 to 10 with one band, and then 10 to close with another band.
Jeez.
So yeah.
Jeez, so what is? Oh, this is blowing my mind. Is that they can have that much music going that long and just being able to do that. But
I think
what was the clientele then? Was that had to have been like tourists and stuff, right?
Well, it's Broadway's basically like the Vegas Strip, but just not Vegas.
Not saying the showgirls.
Yeah, well, a lot of bachelorette parties and stuff like that. So basically the equivalent, but it's gotten a lot more. I've been down there since I moved back here. I've noticed it's gotten a lot more touristy. But it's even back then it was too, like now it's like the the TikTok thing. Everyone's down in Nashville doing. They got all sorts of different themes or whatever. But when I was playing down there, I mean it's like mostly tourism. I mean there's hardly any locals that ever go down there because it's just chaos.
Okay.
So I mean, but you'll see a lot more locals or a lot more, musicians if it's like a weeknight and there's a really good band playing or something like that, like at Roberts. It's where they're at because they got the best bands down there. But
beautiful.
But yeah, I mean, if there's a really good band playing, you might see some locals down there. But for the most part, it's whatever hockey team is in town or football team is in town or
That brings in the clientele from those football teams. And
yep.
Stuff. Yeah. Nice. Well, let's get into our own what's happening down in Fargo right now. So, Cito, ignition man. All right, we're taking you out of town right away at the and mine now. You got Frantic Anarchy there Friday and Saturday this week at the Leffington Brewing, our favorite brewer out in Bismarck, man. And we got Kaylee Matthews on Thursday, Tumbleweed Radio on Friday, SPG Dodge General, and Young Saban on Saturday the 10th. And then next Monday, they have a comedy night that's going to be happening out there at Leffington. Go check that out at the Diamond Lounge in Grand Forks, Quick 56. Be out there Friday and Saturday. Our Place Tavern out in Bismarck. We got Shotgun Facelift you're just talking about all that. And Lords of Sorcery and Anomic Old J, you're going to be out there at Our Place Tavern out in Bismarck. So if you're out there, definitely check that out. Roadhouse, October Road is going to be there on Saturday the 10th. And then at the Archive Coffee House at UND, we have the jazz duo with Dr. Polkjoy. And I can't pronounce this guy's name. Hi, Julin. I'll be doing a little jazz, looks like guitar and vibraphone out there.
Okay.
That looks really fun. All We're going downtown Dempsey's open mic night with Gina Powers tomorrow night, and special band bands will be playing out there Friday night. The Aquarium, we got Mercy, Dimension Jumpers, and Dead Sonic on Friday night. We're going to be at Dirty Habits. I figured it out. 8 Hertz, and then Trip B on Saturday. Then Yantra, Gargatron, Gypsy Wizard Queen on Sunday the 11th. So more metal going on out there. DCR, the DrumCon Wrath. We got open mic night with Travis Muros tomorrow night on the 8th. And then on that, I think it's Saturday, we got Phil Kerr, Fat Ricky, Earthworm Tim, and Scotch and Bowie will be hitting the stage out there. And I have to make a correction that DCR, they're basically closing down their showroom, the tap room, but they'll still be producing the DCR Fine Brews that will be heading on out from there. At VFW, we have open mic night on Tuesday, then Raw Sugar on Friday and Saturday, and then JC Chumley's We Cannot See for some reason. We have Slamabama next Saturday the 10th. And then we go downtown again. We have the Front Street Tap Room. We have Vinyl and Vino on Thursday, and open mic night with Travis Nieros on Monday. Out there, then we're going to the Troll Lounge and Moving Parts on Thursday the 8th, and then Just Us Friday the 9th. Mike Holtz will be hitting the stage on Saturday the 10th. And then Johnson Gruber, some more good jazz happening there on Tuesday the 13th. Then we got the Fargo Brewing Company. We have Wilco and the Cactus Blossoms will be out there on Sunday. The 11th, the Jasper Hotel Four Feathers hitting the stage on Thursday the 8th. And then Wild Tear Cider, we got One Pretty Ricky and DJ AP. Will be on Saturday the 10th. And then out at the Delta 42, we have Ben's own mother and father. Yeah. We'll be out there doing the Kathy Brekke and the 42nd Street Jazz Band. Always good seeing them. Lots of good stuff happening there. Downtown Acoustic Corner on Thursday. Tomorrow night we have Kyle Colby at the Midtown Tavern. We have Mike Morris at Pub West. We have Brianna Hebling and Colby Tangent at Twin Peaks. We have Matt Ockery at the Junkyard Brewing Company. And Eric Dutan will be at the Silver Spike on Friday, September 9th. Dan Brekke will be sitting there on Murphy's Pub. It's a few blocks from here. And Shane Bertrand on Front Street. And then Saturday the 10th, we have Gordon Christensen at the Swing Barrel Brewing. Now we're going uptown with the Windbreak. We have Sushi Roll on Thursday and Saturday. Skipping Friday, because Friday's going to be for October Road. Shooting Star Casino in Monona. We have Bourbon Creek at the Mustang Lounge Friday and Saturday. At the Tech, we got Scotty Austin from Saving Abel. I guess he's a singer from Saving Abel. We'll be out there on the 10th. And then the Historic Holmes Theater in the Post-Traumatic Funk Syndrome will be out there on the 10th. And then at the Southtown Poorhouse in Grand Forks, Sushi Roll is going to be there Friday, and it rains on Saturday the 10th. And that's all we got for you this week. So we're back to Dan here.
Back to me.
Yes. So Dan, you're looking for players, or do you have the people picked out and are just trying to get everything into line?
You know, I've got there's a group of guys basically that I've been pulling from that I'm kind of doing it like I did when I was in Nashville, where you find your core crew of guys and you go, all right, this is who I like to play with. So obviously you get your your first call, drummers, bass players, guitar players, stuff like that.
Yes.
If they can't do it, then you call your other guys that you like to play with, and eventually something's gonna you're gonna get a band together. But I mean, yeah, eventually I would like to have something that's a full-time gig for everybody,
Nice. So again, you're looking for all those players like you were talking about before, and the horns and the backup singers and some tabblers, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
fire breathers.
Eventually, that would be really fun, But for now, just it's gonna be a probably a 4-piece situation.
The dance circuit's coming right on up.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, man.
It's a little more Juvenile Destruction. How about that?
Okay.
This week's off Now these are recycled.
Oh yeah, this is where you just throw shit off the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta destroy something.
Your lawn's gotta be hell to roll.
Oh. Might be good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You got
that was perfect aim too. You're hired. That's ridiculous. Coffee roof, the recycled version, because basically he saw when he came in here we had to do a little bit of work in the basement, and I'm still working on getting rid of all the trash from said work, and I'll cry about that off camera, but you know. So Dan, where can we see you next, and where's all the fun stuff going to be happening?
Well, let's pull this up here again. Murphy's on Fridays. Specs with the Last Minute Band on Saturday. I play Teddy's on the 20th.
Where's Teddy's at?
Teddy's is downtown.
Downtown?
Yep.
Is this new? I have not heard.
It's pretty new. They just opened up this spring here. So. Yep.
Where's that next to?
That is, it's.
I'm putting you on the spot.
No, you're fine. It's the old. I believe it's the old 222. No, it's not. But it's on that same block. It's like.
Is it right on Broadway there?
Yeah, it's right on Broadway. I think it's like 4 doors down from Twist or whatever that is down there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right between VFW and Twist in that area.
Nice. That's called Teddy's.
Teddy's, yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
That's what I like to hear. More venues opening up.
Yeah. Silver Spike on the 29th. Yeah. Other than that, you can go to danbreckemusic.com and I'll try to keep you as updated as I can.
Yes, this guy is moving around lots and lots. He's doing lots of things out there. Oops, I'm pushing wrong buttons here. Yeah, thank you. So he's definitely going to be around. He's definitely doing his thing. Go and definitely support this guy. I'm not saying he needs it, but you know, I'm sure he likes to see a little bit larger crowds every single time he goes on out, like everybody else.
I'll take any kind of support I can get.
Exactly. So you can find us on Uptown Tonight Podcast at Gmail or uptownbandfargo.com, and then you can find us all the stuff you want to know about Uptown and or this podcast. If you have anyone that you'd like to see on here, or have anyone that you would just ask to have on here, or if you want to be on yourself, just again drop us a line and we'll definitely do that. We'll see what we can do for you. We just got Brianna Helbling scheduled on here.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's see, Mike Carboni's going to be on here from Drummer's Journey, and next week we have Mitch Rittenbach, the Wombat's, going to be on here next weekend. So again, if your drummer has more charisma than your front man, your band may be in trouble. But that's why my band's doing just fine. So until next time.
He's just a little baby turtle. Look at him go.